This video is going to go over the differences in the APA template. This template is used for the College of Education and Department of Psychology only. Any other student in the university will need to choose from templates A, B, C, or C with schemes. The APA template we tell our students is APA-ish. That means that we follow the majority of the APA guidelines, but there are some things that we wanted to maintain so that they look similar to the other documents that are submitted to the library. So we're going to start with Chapter 1. The preliminary pages are identical across all templates, including the APA template. So the first thing we're going to look at is the sublevel headings. That's the first big difference in the APA template versus the others. So as you can see, we do have first, second, and third are outside of headings and paragraphs. As you can see, the first, second, and third level headings are headings outside of the paragraph. Should your committee want you to follow the guidelines for the previous edition of APA where the third level heading is also a heading and paragraph, that's perfectly fine. But for us, we have updated the template to meet the new APA guidelines. You can see that they're styled differently, and then the fourth and fifth are styled differently, and of course they're headings and paragraphs. To attach all of your headings, we need to attach them to a style. So the styles pane is what tells your table of contents, your list of tables, and your list of figures that there is something that needs to be populated in those areas. It's super easy. If you haven't worked in a template and you're copying and pasting everything over, this is all you need to do. So you'll just click in your heading and choose your heading number and click on it. You do have to start with first level heading and then go down to second, third, fourth, fifth, but you can jump around as you're going back up. So you can go fifth to third, fourth to second, and so on. But you must go down consecutively. The styles pane not only connects it for the table of contents, the list of tables and the list of figures to read it, it also does your formatting for you. So as you can see, I removed the formatting for this example second level. If we come over here and choose second, you can see that it put the proper spacing and it bolded it, and it also made sure that it was left aligned. You can do that for first, second, and third. Your fourth and fifth level headings are a little tricky because they are headings and paragraphs. So what you'll do is you'll type out your heading and then you'll start your paragraph. Once you get ready to actually connect it to the styles pane over here, you'll need to click right before the first letter of the paragraph for that heading. And then you'll choose heading and paragraph, and that's going to space it over to the right and give the correct indentions. And then you will highlight your fourth level heading up to the period, but don't highlight the spacing in between. And then you'll choose if you're working on a fourth or a fifth level heading here. And that's all you need to do to connect your headings. So let's scroll down and let's talk about your table titles. Your table titles are a little different than the other templates. First off, you have your table number, and then you have a return, and then you have your table title. According to APA guidelines, your table titles should be italicized and double spaced. So our templates will handle that for you. If you're copying and pasting information over, that's perfectly fine. So I'm going to remove this formatting here. And we're going to assume that you typed your own table number in here. So there we go. And then we have our title. All right, so if you're working in another document and you're copying and pasting over, all you need to do is click inside of that title, come over here to the table title style, and click it. So as you can see, it italicized your title. If you use self-numbered, it will assume that your self-numbering is part of the title, so you'll need to delete that. The big thing here to make sure that it populates in your list of tables correctly is the type of return you use. So I'm going to come up here and turn on my paragraph markers. So there are two types of returns. If you just hit enter, you'll get a return with a paragraph. So that is what's called a hard return. In order for the list of tables to populate the title and the number on the same line, you need to do what's called a soft return, which is where you hold shift and enter at the same time. and that creates a soft return. If you do a hard return, it's going to create a space. It's going to completely break that style link. So make sure that you have a soft return here. So I'm going to turn this back off. All right, so your equations, they're numbered consecutively throughout the entire document. I do have a quick part for that, so you can type equation number and hit F3. Equation does need to have a capital E. And as you can see, it put in a space for you to put your equation. It also numbers it. We can update these fields here and adjust those numbers as well. So you can copy and paste your equation over in here, or if you want to use the math language that is built into Word, you're perfectly welcome to use that as well. So the next thing we're going to talk about are the figures. So let's scroll down to our example figures. Unlike the newest version of the APA guidelines, we kept the figure titles below the figure. They are single spaced instead of double spaced, but they do have italicized titles with a bolded figure number. So just like everything else, all you have to do is click here and then click figure title, and that formats everything for you. You do need to make sure that if you're copying and pasting all of this information in, the figure title style will assume that your self-numbering is part of the title, just like in your tables. So you want to make sure that you delete your original numbering. You also want to make sure that your images are connected to the images pane here. We do discuss adding alternative text to your figures and your equations in the ADA Web Accessibility video, so make sure you review that if you have any questions about alternative text. All right, so the last thing, and I don't have any examples here, but the last thing are your references. References for APA are double spaced. We don't check anything inside of your references to make sure that you've done that citation correctly. We just make sure that it's double spaced. We like to tell our students not to spend any longer than 5 minutes on a problem. Feel free to call us, email us, or stop by. We usually know the problem and we know how to fix it really quickly, so there's no sense in you stressing about it. So please, 5 minutes if it's during business hours, and then just give us a quick shout out and we'll be able to help you with this problem. You can find all of our contact information here.